Okay, we are recording so that we don't forget that. And is in typical fashion, it is 6 o'clock on September 23rd, 2015. I'm Coach Jaynine. We are here in North Carolina and, of course, broadcasting live on this blab. And welcome here for Morning Moto. I'm going to read just a short passage to get us in the right mindset, to get us thinking. And hopefully that'll spark the conversation and has been typically happening. People be jumping on as I'm finishing up, which is fine, perfectly fine. I get my reading done, and then we have a great conversation that will take us till about 7 o'clock. So I'm just going to jump right in. And again, we've got open seats. Feel free to jump on in. Today's topic is on traveling companions. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear will rescue me from this Philistine. Samuel 17:37. If you really want to press forward, surround yourself with people who encourage you, people who will build you up. Certainly, you need people who will be honest enough to tell you when you're making a poor choice or a bad decision. Don't surround yourself with a bunch of yes people. On the other hand, don't tolerate a bunch of negative, critical, can't do it people. Sometimes the people who will discourage you the most are the people who are closest to you. Sounds like a theme we've been talking about ever since really we started the blab. Remember King David? When he was just a boy, he told his older brother Eliab that he wanted to fight the huge Philistine giant Goliath. Eliab tried to discourage David by putting him down. He said, "David, what are you going to do out here on the battlefield? You're supposed to be at home taking care of our father's few sheep." He was really saying, "David, you're never going to do anything great. You don't have what it takes." Right there, David had a crucial choice. Would he believe the negative assessment from his brother, or would he believe what God had put in his heart? That goes right back to what we talked about yesterday. He could have said, well, maybe my brother is right. He's older than I am, more experienced, more knowledgeable about the obstacles we're facing. I'm just a kid. I don't feel too talented. Maybe I will get killed out there. But no, David said, I don't care what you say about me. I know who I am. I know what God has placed inside of me. I'm going to step out and fulfill my God-given destiny. He did just that, facing and felling the giant with just a few pebbles from the brook. Isn't it interesting that even Jesus had to leave his hometown of Nazareth because the people there were so filled with unbelief? Jesus knew that if he stayed in the negative environment, it would hold him back. You too may have family members or relatives who lack vision and can't imagine you achieving greatness. Don't get angry with them. Most likely they're good people. Love them and treat them with respect, but understand you cannot be around them on a daily basis. Life is too short for you to be pulled down by negative, jealous, cynical people. Life is too short for you to be pulled down by negative, jealous, cynical people. It doesn't matter how great your gift is or how much potential is locked inside your seeds of greatness if you don't put that seed in an environment conducive to growth. It will not take root. It will be nearly impossible for your dreams to flourish. You need to hang around other dreamers, not daydreamers, but people with big goals, people who plan to do something significant with their lives. Hang around people who are going to help you become all God created you to be. God is saying that this is a time of new beginnings. Get your fire back. Get your passion back. You may have been sick a long time, but this is a new day to get well. You may have struggled with depression and discouragement, but this is the time to break free. You may come from a family of defeat, failure, and negativism. Negativism, that's a big word. But it is your time to rise above the morass. Start stretching your faith once again. Get up each morning expecting good things to happen. And remember, God is on your side. He loves you. He's for you. Scripture says, if you put your trust in him, you will not be disappointed. My father often quoted a simple yet profound statement by the American poet Edwin Markham that sums up the attitude we need. Ah, great it is to believe the dream as we stand in youth by the starry stream. But a greater thing is to fight life through and say at the end, dream is true. Don't settle for mediocrity. Never let good enough be good enough. You too will discover that the dream is true. Whew. So that's our motivation message for the day. Remember, some people you have to love from a distance if you're going to make your dreams come true, if you're going to live life to the fullest and follow your heart, your passion. You gotta kind of distance yourself from them. So again, we've got open seats. I welcome everyone. Just jump on board. What do we want to talk about? How is this going to? This really piggybacks off yesterday's conversation about those little negative voices we sometimes hear, the scripts we hear, and how you have to learn to turn them off. The ones that we got from maybe a school teacher or somebody, who meant well, but that little message is holding us back sometimes. So again, we'd love to hear your thoughts. If you don't want to jump into the hot seat, go ahead and check, type some comments over here in the chat window. If you've got a question, we've got the questions tab. You can ask questions. So again, jump on board. Let's blab. Let's carry this conversation. I would love to hear how you get motivated, or what are you doing? What do you got going on today? Do you have we've had people jump on and we've talked business, walk through some business scenarios for the day. I'm here, I'm a coach, business and career coach. My background is psychology. So I've got I'm a 20-year, military veteran, retired Marine. So I've got a lot of life skills that I can help you with too, that, just I've probably been there, done that, worked with the situation with a client. Early morning here, so still have my coffee, still working on my coffee. Lots going on. Miss Savannah's sitting over here just kind of doing what dogs do in the morning. So hope everyone is having a good day. I think it's the first day of fall, which I'm a summertime gal. I'm here on the East Coast, North Carolina. I don't like when it gets cold and it's dark and almost ugly in the morning. I'm not ready for fall. I love summer. So again, would love to have somebody join me. Ian, join me. What do we want to talk about today? Clicking on Ian's thing. Ian's a coach. He's a connector, educator, futurist, influencer, strategist, trainer, here to help. So he's been on Blab for 54 days. So jump on board, Ian. Jump on board. If not, I'm going to read today's thought to be a better you, because again, we're just reading from Joel Osteen's book and then discussing it. Today's thought to become a better you. I'm going beyond good enough to God's good favor. I don't think God wants us to be just average, just mediocre. And I don't mean that in a boastful way. He's not saying we all got to go out there and be on Star Search, Dancing with the Stars. But we don't have to settle for average. I'm a college professor, and yesterday I was grading homework, and oh my gosh, I have 2 online classes. I teach seated on top of everything else I do, plus I have 2 online. And the 2 online are with the same university. One class, I swear, is the rock stars. These students are pushing themselves beyond what I would expect for first generation college students. I mean, they're doing really good. And then, welcome, Leonie. Welcome. We've got seats if you want to jump on board. And the other class, the people are giving me the bare minimum. The grading rubric is very specific. It's 150 words in your post. You must reply to 4 classmates over 4 days. You must, if the question yesterday said, based on credible research, how would you answer these 2 questions? And most of these people gave their opinion, and I'm like, why are you not quoting research? Why are you not? It makes it sound like you're not even reading. And some of the students were one, she got a little snippety. Well, it says for my opinion. And so why would research have anything? I'm thinking, oh my God, she is just going to be, why is she taking the class if she thinks she knows it all and that her opinion is right? I just wanted to almost like shake her and reach through the computer. And so I don't do well when people want to be average. I really don't. My business is Dreamcatcher, and I truly want people to live to their fullest potential. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Strive to get to the top. I don't think it's boastful. I don't think it's braggy to want to be the best that you can be. And I know that sounds like a cliche from a military commercial, but step up into who you're supposed to be. Step up, and there's days we all want to go back to bed and pull the covers over our head and say, I'm not doing it today. I'll let somebody else go, whatever. But it's those type of things that make us who we are. They give us our resilience, give us, okay, we've got some people joining us. Yay, good morning. Good morning.
And you okay?
Anybody else that wants to jump on board? We got seats. Good morning. Jump on in.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
Good. How are things going?
Very well, very well. It's morning here. I'm in the United States, so I'm just starting my day.
Yeah, it's 11:15 here.
So what words of wisdom or do you have for people getting motivated, being the best they could be? That's kind of the discussion today.
I think one of the things that you're seeing more and more often is more. You still there?
Yes.
No,
I'm here.
Yeah, no, the screen's gone. That's all. Now, where have you gone?
Nope, you're still here. I still see you. So welcome, Cindy. Join us this morning. Glad you're here. This is the place to just sip your coffee and kind of wake up if it's your morning time to get in the right mindset to have a fabulous day. I chose this time because I'm an early morning person. I know a lot of, hey, Dana, good morning. Glad to see you join us this morning. You missed a great blab yesterday. I even was like, where's Dana? He needs to jump in on this conversation. So I hope you're doing well. And again, I know some of you are getting ready for the morning. You don't want to jump in a seat, but if you have questions, comments, type them in the chat room. And when you see me going like this, I'm over here reading all the comments. So the more you participate, the more fun it is. The more it does put us all in a positive mindset. So
I think also on what you're saying, the mindset also takes into account the people you surround yourself with. Because there's so many people that are out there that all of a sudden burst on the scene saying that they're this, that, and the other. And when you actually delve down and you speak to many people, you actually find out they're a completely different person from the way they portray themselves. And that's one of the things that Blab is really going to identify people about, because Blab's really going to show the opportunity from those that can say they can do and from those that actually can deliver.
Yes, excellent. And I, piggybacking off that, I think that's why, sometimes you're over on Facebook or LinkedIn. LinkedIn I think is more credible, but sometimes it gets almost like you need to turn off that outside chatter, because it can be really, nobody's talking about how crappy their day is or something negative. They're just posting this stuff, and it's like, is that really who they are? Or they're being so negative over there. It's like, would you really say that? And yeah, gotta keep it real. Gotta take time to get to know people.
Yeah, it's sort of quite interesting that you see some people that they'll operate and do some things, and then you just think, you sit back and think, well, why did you ask me to do things when you're doing it yourself, or you're not taking my advice on board and you're going off and doing other bits and pieces. I mean, I was working with somebody who said to me that they asked for some bits and pieces, so I gave them some advice, and then all of a sudden they've gone over and decided to do something completely different. Yet the people they're taking advice from seem to be these gurus, as they call themselves. Yet so many people are saying the guys are just sort of like, they've put themselves up there and everybody thinks they're God, but when you actually delve down, they only know a small percentage of the whole bandwidth. So how can you be like a guru, mentor or coach, influencer to every sort of business that's going, when you're actually only focusing on one little element and you're dismissing everybody else?
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, as you're talking about that, I've had a couple of clients like that, and it's like, why did you hire me if you're going to go listen to this one who's got, the $1 million advertising and offering, I call them, they chase the shiny objects, but they're also kind of snatchers and grabbers, because they're only, a lot of them are that I meet are dealing with, they only want the free from all these people. They're free ebooks, they're free this, they're free that, but they're listening to so many other people instead of, and I think they're listening because they're hoping somebody's got a magic wand or magic fairy dust, so they don't have to sit down and do the work that I told them they need to do. They're just hoping and praying somebody's got a magic pill.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to some people saying, oh, you need to look at this, and this, and whether you may not want to use it now, you need to actually cement your domain. And they've turned around and spoken to other people and they've said, oh no, that's rubbish, don't listen to what Ian's got to say. You don't need to do that with your brand, you just need to concentrate in this one area. And then what happens is, and I've seen it this year, some advice that I gave to some people a couple of years ago, they never took it, and these people have now jumped on like Instagram and a couple of other platforms, and they're having to use a completely different name because somebody's stolen their business name because they never took it up at the right time. And that's one of the biggest things, that even though you may think, well, my business is doing this, I only need to be in that one arena, you need to actually forget about you being in that one arena. You need to take the whole spectrum of what social is and what online is and actually secure everything from day one. A very, very good person to watch for that is Gary Vaynerchuk, if you actually know him.
Mm-mm.
If you on Twitter, he's I'll just type it in, his Twitter handle. It's at Gary V. Now, every new social platform that comes out, everything that does that arrives, he jumps on board straight away from day one, because at least that way he's secured and grabbed his own domain. Mm-hmm. So he's got it uniform all the way through. And the other aspect is, if you're on from day one, at least if anybody looks back at you, Blab's a good example. I mean, I came to Blab quite late because it's been going now, what, about 150, 160 days. So I've only been here a third of the time, roughly. Anybody who looks at you can say, oh, well, you've been here that long, you've obviously an early adopter. So sometimes being the early adopters can actually have a real good benefit for you, because as soon as you get in at the early adoption stage, you'll get other early adopters, like potentially some of the big names. And sometimes being an early adopter on one platform, getting the introductions to those big names and starting to communicate with them are potentially people that you would never get the opportunity to get a look in or be seen on their radar on other platforms.
That's excellent. Excellent advice.
So, I mean, I know some people that have actually done some blabs here with some people that they've said, crikey, I've tweeted you, I've messaged you on Facebook, yet we've never connected, because like, for example, on Twitter, you've got 150, 200,000 followers. You're always getting messages. You probably don't see mine, yet they came onto here, exchanged a couple of messages, and within 48 hours between them, they were doing a blab together. So, I mean, this has got such a potential to run, but it's actually down to Blab really tying it down and making sure that it locks in what people are actually wanting to do. Because, I mean, when you set up your Blab, did you actually say what categories that you were wanting to be in?
I think I did.
Okay. Because, I mean, when you actually look at what's on air, when I put on things what's on air in the morning, when I get up, there's like about 20 or 30 blabs taking place, and you're just thinking, oh, what a nightmare trying to go through sorting them out. And if you try sorting by the tag names that Blab have given you, the tags don't always work because people aren't putting it in, and they just fall into the general chat, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the blabs are absolutely awful, I must admit.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think I did put a category. I tried to. I think I did. I'll have to go back and double check. Good morning, Steve. We've got Bo Your Biz. We've got Tish, Martin. We've got some extra seats, guys. We're talking about kind of quieting the negative and stepping above the noise to excel. So jump on a seat. Okay, Steve's joining us. We've got Bo joining us.
Let me just change that.
It's like Stockhausen said about Gary being good. If you get a chance, you want to actually look at some of Gary's videos, Jaynine.
I will.
His YouTube channel is really, really good because the way he comes across and puts his messages over, some may say it's like loud, brash, and in your face, but he actually gives really good business advice, and he actually delivers it in a way of, like, if you were in the street talking to somebody, he tells you as it is.
I would probably connect with that because as a retired Marine, I sometimes don't think I'm being a little bit and then I'll see somebody else's approach on something. I'm like, ooh, I'm being kind of a little B. I need to soften it up. But yet, for me, those aren't my ideal clients. My ideal clients typically, I have learned, are going to be military veterans who speak my language and get my intensity and my sometimes what others perceive as abruptness. And you know, I think it's all being kind of what you were talking about at the beginning, people being fake or not who they are. If I were, you know, trying to be somebody I'm not, sooner or later, the real me is going to come out and they're going to be like, oh my God, who's this girl with the head spinning around? And I just have to be me. So I think you made a very excellent point. Steve, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, very well. Thank you, Jaynine. Love to tune into your show and hear the positivity. That's very good.
Thank you. Thank you. So remind me, where are you at?
I live in Bournemouth in the UK.
That's right.
Yeah. And
so you're in a different time zone. I'm still waking up.
Oh, I'm still waking up. But that's
And Bo, welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. So the problem I have is I have more than one Twitter handle. So this one you see here is an old one. And Bo Your Biz, a number of years ago, I outrageously stole your president. And Bo Your Biz stands for Barack Obama Your Business, right? And I don't know why, but currently Blab defaults to that Twitter account rather than my normal one, Rod Sloan. So it looks a bit crazy. So Bo is not my real name, but Bo is a good name for anybody to have, I think.
You made a good point. It's pulling from, I think, your Twitter Plus. I know it's connecting with my Google Plus.
Yeah. So I don't know why it's doing that, and I should delete that account probably, but there you go.
No, what I would say to you is, if you what internet browser are you using?
Chrome.
Okay. If you open up a new Chrome tab and type in twitter.com.
Mm-hmm. What, do that now?
Yeah.
Okay, Ian M. Calvert. Are you related to Philip Calvert?
No, I'm not. No.
All right. Okay.
So when you open up twitter.com, which Twitter account comes up?
I'll tell you which Twitter account comes up. Doing it now. This one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you go up to your picture and you log out,
yeah,
and then when you come to sign back into Blab again, it will ask you to sign in with your Twitter handle, and then it'll bring in your new Twitter handle that you want to sign in with.
Good. All right. Thank you.
Because that's what happens. I've had this on a few other Blabs where people have said, oh no, I've come up under my client's Twitter. And what it's been is because they've got, what people don't realize is that Google's catching the last Twitter handle you were in on, and when you sign in, it brings you in on that.
Okay, thank you.
So if it doesn't work that, it may ask you to put in your other Twitter handle like this one, but it's quite, because at the moment it's all quite relatively new. Everybody gives these like hands and things like that. They don't mean anything, because as soon as you come off one Blab, they've lost. So it's quite easy for you to set up quite a new Blab handle quite quickly.
Okay. So how are you guys finding Blab? Is it good? Is it nonsense? Is it just noise? Is it, how would you label it so far?
I love it.
Great.
I guess I'm kind of an early adopter on a lot of different social media platforms. I'm late to this one. I've only been on maybe 8 days, 10 days. But I decided to use this time of day because, one, there weren't a lot of people on here doing blabs. Mm-hmm. Two, I didn't want it to interrupt my already busy day. Every morning, I sit at my desk and drink my coffee and read from Joel Osteen. I found Facebook's getting very negative. So I just decided to do a blab where I read and then open it up and we discuss. And what I have noticed, I have a strategy for it. I'm meeting lots of people I haven't met on other platforms. So it's a new venue to connect with new people, which I'm loving. But also the people who normally follow me, if they're not listening while they're getting ready in the morning, they're listening later and then commenting back to me about how they love the message every morning. And this is a true story. I'll keep it brief because I don't want it to focus on me. But one of the blabs we did, like the second or third day, I don't even remember actually what the topic was, but it was they've all been fabulous. They all kind of start out slow where I'm by myself and then everybody jumps on. But the person listening of all people was, we'll call her the other woman, who is the other woman.
Ooh,
and
tell me more.
She came and apologized to me. She sent me a message and then asked to come to visit me and apologize. And she listens to them. And I've always found that creepy but as a business owner, how can I tell her to stop it, because it's my business reputation. So she's probably listening to this, but I just thought that was kind of weird, but she did come and apologize. So I guess the messages we're sharing and things do make people think. And I was just like, ooh, ow, wow. Mm-hmm. So I think they're a wonderful way for, if you have, I see people, just blabbing about anything, and that's fine if they have time for that. I personally love just, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., my normal routine, wanting people, hey, Melissa, we got Paper Chaser joining us. My message and purpose for this blab is to just have people start the day off in a good mindset to go have a wonderful day, and then finding that, we've got people from other time zones jumping on. They're going to have a good afternoon. They're going to have a good evening. That to me is the power of this. And Steve says, everything on here is public. You have to remember this, even if you're building friendships. It's great. And it's, it's open. You can't really censor anything. You do have the option to record, which I do record them and share them. And I think that's a beautiful way. And I see several ways I'm working with business owners on using this to promote their direct sales businesses and other things. Mm-hmm. So I love it. I think it's great.
I think it's going to be more of not really a sales channel. It's going to actually enhance the social helping, social listening, social engagement side of your business, where you can actually get businesses to actually step up to the mark and be open and honest and put their hands up and say, hey, so like using Bo for an example, it could be a case of, right, Bo, look, we're really sorry this product that you've ordered hasn't gone right. Let me take you over now, introduce you to Jaynine, who will explain to you how we go through the picking, the sorting, the postage of your product, to explain to you how we shipped it out. So really the product you ordered should have come to you in really good condition. And then that's a sort of environment where it's really going to come into its own entity, really. And I think that's going to be the really key factor. Plus, companies can actually use it as a way to promote their company to, say, like interns or new employees, because you could say, you could have an interview with different heads of the department, and then the other open seat could be left over to a couple of other members of staff that could be walking around your factory, your offices with their iPhones, and bring people in to show what the customer service looks like, what the manufacturing, what transportation looks like. So they can use it as a job hiring function. So it could be really good.
Okay.
I agree. I think it's a great customer service tool. You could almost do open the mailbag, frequently asked questions, discuss, those questions you get all the time from people maybe, and use it as a platform to share, because then they have that real connection, the real voice. Nobody's hiding behind their logo. They get to see the real people who they're dealing with. And I think that's powerful.
No, don't do that. No.
I think the ones that are going to really take this to heart and do really, really well out of it are going to be the non-for-profits and charities, if they embrace it correctly. Because if you've got, say, for example, like you, Jaynine, if you're like the CEO of a charity and you're explaining to us why we should give you money, myself and Bo, I could be here I could be sort of like over in Africa. Bo could be, say, over in South America, and we could be tackling, I don't know, say, forestry issues, but we're actually showing people how the money's been spent on tackling forestry issues, wood chopping, all these sorts of things. So then people can actually see how the money's been properly spent, and then you've got an open seat, so people that are a bit skeptical of the charity can jump in and ask the questions, and we can actually do it. So the first charities and non-for-profits that actually jump in and do that are going to have a real boom time.
I like that idea, and I'm seeing a comment about somebody said they learned a lesson that this is not a podcast, but I see people doing interviews, kind of making it a podcast, so you could bring on a guest lineup and interview other businesses, and then when you save the recording, it can go to iTunes, it can go out, and just using the charity example, you have people asking questions, you're sharing about the charity. Again, if you save the recording, put it over on a YouTube channel, on Pinterest, send it out. It can become something you share with those that can't attend live.
Yeah, but that's where it's taking it past the podcast, because when a podcast takes place, 9 times out of 10, the podcasts are recorded. So you've got somebody reading a question, somebody giving a scripted answer to that question. There's no interaction. If they do something wrong, they can cancel it, start again. And I know I've been asked to do some of these podcasts, which take up about half an hour of your time. Yet when they're actually broadcast, only last about 10 or 15 minutes because they cut things in and out. This is really going to show those that can do that, walk the walk, and those that talk the talk, because a lot of the people that are on the podcasts, if you put them on here, they're not going to be visual. If they get asked a direct question, it puts them on the spot. They're not going to be able to answer it properly, and you're going to show the ones that have got the real knowledge and the real shares.
Well, and I think that's what makes this, almost more fun, because we can see each other. I did the podcast over on TalkShoe when I started, and I think this makes it more fun. We get to interact and just be ourselves. When I first advertised this, I said no makeup required, because I didn't want people having to get all glam just to come on here, because I'm definitely not at 6 a.m. But I clicked on somebody's podcast the other morning right after mine, and the girl was from North Carolina, and she had perfect hair and makeup and clothes, and I'm like, it's too early for that. That is not how I roll out of bed, and this is real.
Yeah.
Cindy, did you want to jump on? Grab a seat if you want to jump on. I think I've kind of lost something in the conversation thread. And Paper Chaser. Okay, Steve's coming back. Paper Chaser. I haven't been able to listen live, but I'm routinely listening later. Love the ability to record.
Okay, right. I'll go.
See you, mate. It was just about podcasts, if you're interested. I had my 3rd blab disaster last night.
Okay. Why was it a disaster? There's no disasters. Lessons learned.
Lessons learned, exactly. And after 15 minutes of thinking, oh my word, I picked myself up again. And I'm happy. I learned. What I learned was you've got to put your face out there. I tried to do a podcast. I was dog tired last night. Very excited about what I'd learned over the last 7 days. 7 days solid on Blab. Especially on the last day, it came to a head and it all kind of made sense to me. And I wanted to share that information. That was good quality information about how to make your blab last longer in a variety of ways. But because I was so tired, I thought, I might even flake out live in front of the camera. I don't want that. So I kind of hid a bit behind that panel that you see, the I'm still listening type of thing. And I came in and out. But no, there was very little likes, or whatever you call them, the grab hand things, the love handles, what you call them down there.
Love handles.
Okay, there's very little of that. People came and left. I mean, a few people came through the room, but they came and left. And great content, dead as a duck. So I'm not going to do that again. If you're too tired to do it, don't do it. Save it for the next day. I just kind of got all impetuous. I might be in my late 40s, but, you can still get excited about things, can't you?
But, I would, if I were coaching you, I would say just keep going with your energy that you can muster up for that.
Yeah.
And just recycle that recording to all your followers who missed it, and just keep going. It's that consistency of people knowing, you know what, because when I jump on here every morning for about the first 8 to 12 minutes, I'm by myself, but I just keep going and I keep looking like, should I just end it now? And then somebody, it's just like, I'll be like, please, somebody. and then the magic happens. So I don't, you're not alone in being alone when you first start out. I think it takes a while for people to, and I know what time of day Dana's going to jump on now every morning, which I love. He's lurking over here listening to us, and it wasn't a failure. Did you record it?
I recorded it. You could see it wasn't as if I was dying in flames or something. I mean, that could be entertaining for people, but it just wasn't. It didn't have the same interaction. You got to put yourself out there. You got to stay brave on Blab.
Stay brave, and then just keep clicking on that. Tell the little bird.
Yes.
And, marketing is part of this, letting people know the time and date. And I need to go back and look at my settings, because I know I got a message from somebody that they had a blab like last week, but then I haven't gotten any notifications of others. So I don't know if I unchecked something that I'm not getting notified of the people I'm following, because I'm following you and I didn't know you had a blab last night. So
well, I think that's one of the things that I've seen in other blabs where people have said that unless you actually subscribe to the blab, you don't get to see it.
Okay, great point. Got to subscribe to see it.
So that's the one thing that unless you're actually on here all the time, we're not going to see people like Scott and the others. If they say they're doing a blab, we don't get always notified. So I think that is a major downside, that if you're following somebody, it would be quite nice to know when they're doing a blab.
That's an excellent point. And maybe, again, this is in beta. Maybe they will change that, because you don't want to have to go click on every episode that they have published. And like, I don't have next week's out yet, but it would be nice if you're just following me to know, or to, have some way that you're picking and choosing which ones you want notified of. Yeah. But
so
I think there's, go ahead.
When you're doing your coaching and things like that, how do you actually find your audience? Who do you actually appeal to? Are you actually, because obviously in America it's different to here, the UK, do you actually have different ways to identify? Are you actually just looking locally or within the county you're in, or if you are looking worldwide or across America? How do you go out to find your clients, Jaynine?
Actually, my clients typically find me. I do know my ideal client. They are global. I've had clients from everywhere, just about. And predominantly mine is through social media. I would say I know if they're coming to me from Twitter, they're going to shop my online store. If they're coming from LinkedIn, they're going to call me. They're going to send me a message, and then they're going to call me immediately. And they want to discuss business and do it now. If they're on my Facebook, it'll be 6 months to a year maybe before they're following me before they actually hire me for something. So social media, through my blog, public speaking, doing the podcast, I've had a radio show, those type of things have been my lead attraction strategies. The content marketing.
When you say public speaking, what sort of public speaking do you do?
I have gone to universities and taught social media. That's typically the one I get paid to teach. Yeah. Because
I know she's still lurking in the background. You should get Cindy on, because Cindy has got like a speaking organization which is like really good, and they're getting coaches from around the world to come and speak about various bits and pieces. So Cindy would be a great one to have on, because she gives you the different aspects, and it could be something on one of her blabs to get you on board.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure where she's disappeared to.
Yeah, I thought she wanted to jump on, and we've got I think it was Kevin. Is it Kevin, right? Back from yesterday. KB. Keith. I'm sorry, Keith. Keith, jump on board if you want. Keith is a motivational speaker and life coach. We talked yesterday about quieting those negative voices. Jump on board if you want. We got Gina, welcome. And Roy says, tip, if you follow a person, you do get a notification when they go live. See, I don't think I am. I don't think I'm getting those notifications. I'll have to check my spam, but I only remember getting one.
Well, that's what others have said to me, but at the same time, I've had other people say exactly the same, that yes, you do get the notification, but I'm following quite a lot of people on here, yet my mobile phone doesn't go off saying that so-and-so's jumped on a blab.
Hi,
okay.
Jaynine. Hey, I'm going to be
Hi, Roy.
hi. I'm going to be audio only. I just jump on really quick and explain this to you. Hi, Ian.
Hi.
Yeah, I've been here a while.
Hey,
So
Coach.
what you do is hey, KB, when you follow someone, okay, you get a desktop notification. That is, if you go to your settings on the homepage and click settings, then you have the various check marks. You can get a notification on your desktop, on your screen, or on your phone, and then you also get an email if you check all the boxes. Now, if you're not checking all the boxes, then of course you won't get that. But here's the cool thing about this is that when somebody that you're following goes ahead and schedules something, you'll get a notification that says, so-and-so scheduled something. You go and click that notification that comes across your screen or the one that's in your email, and then you can go ahead and immediately subscribe. And when you subscribe, you get another email saying that you can now add this to Google Calendar. So that way you'll be alerted for all of this, as well as getting the email the minute that they go live. If you subscribe when they're done and they've recorded it, you'll get another email saying that here is the replay.
Yeah, I get the replays come through, but where are you saying that you go on Blab to actually find it?
Go to the homepage, go to blab.im over on the right-hand side under settings. Do you see it?
Yeah.
And you'll have all the different checkboxes to check. And I'm very much into receiving notifications. I have a friend that says, nope, I don't want to know anything. I'll come here when I need to. So whatever your flavor is, salt to taste. You know what I'm saying? So right now I just got a notification that said that Coach Jaynine followed you on Blab. See? Thank you for that.
So Roy, you can be very specific. You don't have to get notifications for everyone you follow, just the ones you choose.
Right. If you follow a person, then right now you get a notification about that person. So if you follow 1,000 people, and eventually we all will, then you will get a notification every time they either go live. Like, for example, I just jumped into this seat. So now all the people that follow me that have their notifications on will see, hey, Roy just jumped into this seat, which now means that if they look at it, they'll see, oh, with Jaynine, and it's the Morning Moto, and it's, oh, I don't know these people. So if they know me and like me, then they'll come in. So if you get a very popular person like Robert Stern, whenever he jumps into somebody's Hangout or Blab, I'm so used to Google Plus, then you'll notice an influx of people coming in because people follow Robert, and they'll come in to say, well, if Robert is interested in person that I don't know yet, maybe I should follow that person. So it's a great way to network. It's a great way to become known, liked, and trusted by other people. So they just have this networking to a T. It's just a fantastic. Another thing I'd like to say about the networking part is when you go to subscribe, also text on the site, because the comments are always open. They're open before the show and after the show. So if you don't yet know the host and you want to, just say, something like, hello, hi, I've been wanting to meet you, blah, 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 blah. And if they're still there, and if you're a really good host, you'll wait 5-10 minutes maybe, or at least keep that window open and watch who comes in and actually wants to connect with you and talk with you. So a lot of people don't know this yet. And that's why if you look at my little bio here, I'm saying that I am the Blab IM secrets guy. So these are some of the secrets that I've discovered over time, and I think they're wonderful. I think they're wonderful because I've met so many great people that I wouldn't have met elsewhere because of texting. I'm not a text guy, I'm a talk guy, and I'm so glad they finally came with this platform. I thought Google Plus was going to be it, but they blew it over there. Anyway, I just wanted to say that. And if there's any techie questions that you guys have, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, Roy, I mean, I haven't got any of my email boxes ticked. I've got all the other boxes ticked. So yeah, I do get notifications come up on screen when a friend of mine joins Blab, or they're doing bits or when they follow me. But when somebody jumps on a Blab, or they actually are hosting a Blab, I'm not getting those. Are you saying you only get those if you tick all the email boxes then?
Yeah, you have notifications and email. So they're different. If you just want notifications, check those boxes. If you just want email, check those boxes. If you want both, check all boxes. Max Scape, who is James, just asked a question. I came across my screen here. What is the white box with the little plus? So on the top left corner, we have our names. our pictures and our Twitter handles. And then on the right-hand side, you have a little plus with a head and shoulders. If you click that, you'll immediately follow that person. That just lets you know that you're not yet following that person. And then every person here has their own color. And when we post over on the side chat, then we will see that little color come up. Like, for example, Jaynine is blue. And when she posted over here, great tips, thank you, Roy, then the little H came up, signifying that she's one of the people in the seats. Now, when I texted something or when anyone else texts something, hover over their name over on the right-hand side in the comment section. You'll see two things, two little icons, a star and a little arrow. The star is just like the props here. So if somebody says something that you really like, give them a prop and click on the star, like I'll click on Jaynine Star. And then if you hover over the star, then you'll see my picture and you'll know, oh, Roy liked what I said. This is another great way of making connections with people, because now you'll see, oh, these people are, amazed by what I just said, or they're giving me props, or they like me, or what have you. And then when you click the little arrow, it automatically puts their Twitter handle into the comment section, so you don't have to type all of that, copy and paste all of that, or try to even figure out what it is. And then you can go ahead and text to them directly, just like you would on Twitter, and then they get a notification right here on the screen. It doesn't happen on Twitter. It just happens right here. And then if you see the tabs at the top, it'll say mentions and questions. So the mentions are for you if you're in the seat and if you're in the audience. So people in the audience, if somebody texts or types their @name, then you can go straight to mentions and everybody gets to see the questions and isolate it. Because sometimes, Jaynine, when the room is really, really full and there's a lot of comments, they go really quick and you can't catch them all. But then if you go to the question section, then you can go, oh, look, you can go right down the list. So they're making so many improvements here. When I started, it wasn't here yet. I started a little over 2 months ago. These guys, in my humble opinion, are amazing. And I just love this platform. So great question, James. And yeah, I'll stop right there and see if you have any other questions, guys.
I think, Roy, you've just nailed it. The beauty of Blab is that it's a platform that is very interactive, and the people that are actually that have designed it and set it up are actually wanting to make sure they interact with their audience. A bit like Meerkat did in the early days, because Meerkat developers were jumping on board, fixing a lot of the issues. So Blab are doing exactly the same.
Yeah, I quite agree. In the early days, Google Plus did it as well. For those of you that, Jaynine, are you a Google Plus gal?
Am I what?
Google Plus, Hangouts on Air.
I never got the hangout of a hangout. I've been on a few as a guest. I've tried to host my own and found my clients couldn't get the hang of it either.
So tough.
So we kind of skipped that one. This one is easy.
Yes. And the way I say it is that Google Plus has been dropping the ball for 4 years. Finally, Blab saw the fumbled ball, picked it up, and scored a touchdown. Because to me, this is the place to do what you need to do. And they're even going to get better, because they're going to start giving us some analytics to show us the engagement with our replays. And it's just amazing. You can find out the people that were here. So right now, Jaynine, you've had 36 people pass through, 12 are still here. At the end of this, and you're recording it, which is great. I would say record everything, because if you don't like what you recorded, delete it. But if you don't record it and somebody says something so profound, you'll want to have it recorded and it'd be too late. So you can always delete. But then when people come back here, down at the bottom of the recording, they can see all the people that filtered through, the 36 now, or the 50 that happened. And so Sunday, I just happened to open up a Blab because someone had to leave. They did one for 2 hours, and it was called Networking Blab. Introduce yourself. And I was here for almost 11 hours. My Blab was 10 hours and 50 minutes. And I said, look, I'm going to go until no seats, until all the seats are vacant. There's nobody left to introduce themselves. And I went for almost 11 hours. It was amazing. So recorded the whole thing. The file's going to be huge when I download it. But the cool thing is I don't have to download it. You can one click and it's boom up in your YouTube account. So this is an amazing, amazing platform for just about anything you want to do. And their motto or their tagline is push a button, start a show. And I refer to this place as TV 2.0 because now anyone can have a TV show any which way you want to. It's just amazing. You know, your imagination is, it's whatever you want it to be. So cool.
I'll agree with you on that, Roy. The one thing that we may disagree on, and this is one of the things that I didn't like about Meerkat and Periscope, is that with Meerkat and Periscope, you can just keep slapping away on your keyboard there, giving loads of people hands, etc., etc. And now Blab are doing exactly the same. Whereas with Periscope and Meerkat, they turned it into leaderboards, so the amount of hands you got ranked you further up the like influencers or the #1 Periscopers, #1 Meerkatters, etc. And it gave a false impression. And the beauty here is, whilst they do give you hands here, they're not carried over. And I just think that whilst you may say very good points all the way through, should you actually be receiving more than one award? Because it could be false reporting, because like I say, somebody could sit there, give you 1,000 likes, and it'll just boost you up, making you out to be an expert when you're not really an expert.
Yeah, I think that these folks here have the right why, right? So any platform that we're using, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, this place, Google Plus, whatever, it's how do you use the platform, and then why are you using the platform? So I like what they did here with the props. They call them props. They used to call them fields. They call them props now. So when someone says something that you like or you agree with people, you give them a few props, you know, like I just did with you, how everybody's been doing here. Let me give some to KB. Doesn't have any right now. So it just makes people makes people feel good, makes them smile, gives them a good feeling. And these points mean absolutely nothing. That way there's no false reporting. You know, you can have your friends come in. Just it doesn't mean anything other than it just makes you feel good and gives people an opportunity to say, oh, look at the people who like me, or look at the people who agree with me.
It's a little ego booster. It helps with the confidence when you're sitting there with zero and wondering if you should really be here or not.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Maya Angelou's got a great quote. I always use it. And more so than any other platform, I use it here. And she says, people are going to forget what you said, Roy. People are going to forget what you did, Roy. But you're never going to forget how you made them feel, Roy. So make a person feel good about you, which makes them feel good about them. And always make everything about the other person, because that's what it's really about. And I got one more one-liner real quick. And that is, if you don't enjoy meeting people, guess what? People are not going to enjoy meeting you. And I can spot a person that doesn't enjoy meeting people a mile away. I've been doing this for a while. I refer to myself as the relationship guy, the speed relationship guy, because I believe relationships don't need a long time to form, especially the deep ones. We know right away whether we want to be in that person's presence, you know, for an hour or not. Don't you think?
I agree with that. And I think that's a good segue into, again, that positive mindset for starting the day or whatever time you're on, having a good day. And I know Keith will jump in on that probably, that, you know, we have that choice, that free will, how to enjoy life, how to make others feel, and they can feed off that. They can pick up on that.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree, Coach. It's the power of having a positive attitude over any type of circumstance. And that's one thing that I really like to help people promote with, is that no matter whatever it is, if you have the right attitude and outlook on something, your circumstance will actually change. So depending on what it is that you're dealing with, and how you start anything is how you start everything. So it's a great aspect.
I like Steve's comment. Be prepared to laugh at your own mistakes. You have to. Yes. And again, they're not mistakes. They're lessons learned, Steve. Lessons learned.
Missteps. I call them missteps. Yeah.
I have a lot of lessons learned. I could write a book. But, you know, as I said yesterday, I haven't died from embarrassment yet, and I don't think anyone will. So I'm social proof that just keep having lessons learned and jumping in with both feet. And, you know, you won't know your true potential if you don't have those life lessons. If you don't have those lessons learned, you'll never know. if I wouldn't have just, I've seen people on here say, oh, I've been just kind of lurking for months waiting to do my own blab. No, I had one practice with a couple of my assistants, and we jumped in. We didn't lurk. We just jumped in, and I'm still alive. I haven't died of embarrassment. I'm learning from everyone else. You've got to be, you really got to get that I'm so perfect attitude gone, and be open to just say, I'm real, I make mistakes, I'm not perfect, and this is who I am. Or you will eat yourself up and be a miserable person. And like Roy said, people can spot miserable people, fake people, a mile away. So
I absolutely agree with that. And another little tip for everyone, your title is important. You can only attract who you are. So if you're a miserable person, you're going to attract miserable people. But, Jaynine, you did a good thing, because what got me was personal growth. And the question I ask a lot of people when I first meet them is, you do have a personal growth plan, don't you?
Most will say no.
Most will say, what? A personal growth? What? Exactly. So if you don't want to be a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday, shame on you. And if you don't want to be a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today, shame on you. And the way you do that is the books you read and the people you meet. It's really that simple.
It is. And I want to just, Keith was on here yesterday, and we had a wonderful blab. So another way, as we talked about networking, and I know we're going over time, and Miss Savannah's starting to do her happy dance, so we'll have to wrap up real soon. Another way to continue that networking is when I saved the recording over on YouTube, I mentioned the people that were in the hot seats with me in the YouTube with their real name and their Twitter, and I shared it with them. So Keith can use that, because he had lots of good messages for people. He can use that to share. There might be a client he's working with, or somebody wants social proof on his speaking because he's a motivational speaker. He could say, well, I was on this blab and listen to, this little section of it. I shared that with him. I didn't say, oh, that's mine. It was my blab. No, share it.
Right. Absolutely. And I took what Coach did yesterday, and I made an Instagram post out of it, just to let the other people know, unless we actually share it and actually show people that, hey, you can go out and do this. I have more proof than anything now, because I told Coach this yesterday, but social media is slowly.
I think we lost him.
He's breaking up. He's on, looks like he's on Wi-Fi, but I agree totally with what you're saying. I speak in sound bites. That's pretty obvious for anybody that's known me for even 10 minutes. And I love it, because if you say something that's memorable and quotable, they'll remember it and they'll quote you. And that's really what we all want to do. That's my brand. That's what I teach people. The quickest, lowest common denominator to connecting with people is give them something to hang their hat on.
I think you're right there, Roy. I mean, I don't know if you were in at the beginning when I was saying to Jaynine at the start, one of the beauties about this platform, you've got so many people that do podcasts, and I've been asked to do podcasts which take about half an hour, but actually only end up being like a 5 or 10 minute podcast because of all the editing they do. This is actually going to show the real, true people and how they behave, because a lot of these podcasters just talk from a script. The people they're interviewing just give like scripted answers. This is really going to show the good from the bad.
Absolutely. This, a great point, Ian, because in text, you don't know what you don't know about those folks. You know what I'm saying? They can copy and paste from anybody. They can quote somebody else that's really eloquent, and you'd never know. Here, even if I come on with a voice like this, because that's part of my brand, is I'm the voice, okay? Because I want to tell people, show people, and example for people that video, I love video. Don't get me wrong. I was on video 6 years. For the last 2 years, I've been just audio only. And that's for a reason, because I believe that people can connect just audio to audio. It's just like making a phone call. And if you've never connected deeply with somebody on the phone, I met my second wife on the phone after 8 hours. We were on the phone and we met for coffee, and we've been together ever since. So I know it's possible to meet and to go deep and to go wide and to go breadth, in any relationship, just audio to audio. But of course, the video factor is huge. But I want to show people who are, a little bit hesitant to come on video. Maybe they're not camera ready. They don't want to put their makeup on and do their hair every 5 seconds when somebody calls them on. Hey, it's okay. Just come on and use your voice, because if you can't connect with somebody just using your voice, I don't know. I gotta rethink that whole thing. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't know if you've come across this saying. We have it here in the UK. And I think this sums up potentially some podcasters completely. Those that can, and those that can't, teach. So effectively what we're saying is that if you can't do your job, the people that can't do their job always end up becoming teachers or lecturers at colleges. Those that can do the job stay in their job. And I think that's a great adage, because it's amazing the amount of college people, and it's a horrible thing to say, but the amount of teachers and college lecturers that can actually do the talk but can't do the job.
Yeah.
Got some great comments. The eyes are the window to the soul. The voice always shows the mood of a person. And yeah, somebody's wanting Steve's website. Steve, post your website for people. What else do we got? Guys, Miss Savannah, Miss Savannah's my blue pit bull sitting here patiently. She hasn't had her morning walk, so she's doing her little thing. So we're going to have to wrap this up. And, I kind of have a format. I read from Joel Osteen to get us in the right mindset out of his book here. And then we follow up with one of his prayers in the same section of the book. So I want to wrap up with his prayer again. I find these just very, everything we've been talking about still goes back to the message for today, surrounding yourself with people who have similar goals. They're not going to pacify. We don't want to be surrounded by people who are just going to pacify us, but who are going to inspire us, kind of give us that little kick in the pants we need every now and then, and be a little bit real, but without that negativity of shaming and keeping us pulled down and stuck. And we've all been around those people who just make us feel bad for wanting to step into our greatness, our passion, our power, what we're supposed to be. So this has been great. I've loved having Ian here. We had Keith and Roy, and I know we had a couple others, plus the comments. Dana's always over here giving me a thumbs up, the prop, the clap, somebody called it the love handles earlier, which, I think is a funny little image. But, it's a great way. Again, we've all got some nuggets from Roy to help us go forward with our day on using Blab. Ian has shared some wonderful things to make us think twice about how we're presenting ourselves and going out there today and having relationships with people. And again, Keith's always out there, motivating and sharing, and hopefully I've motivated you too. So let's do our prayer for the day. So again, I'm sorry I got to end it, or I could be on here all day, but I think part of the success with Blab for your own success is using boundaries. Having good boundaries in life. And so I know for me, this early morning Blab, about an hour, and I've got to get into my day. So today's prayer for becoming a better you by Joel Osteen.
So,
Father,
thanks,
while you're helping me become a person others want to be around, lead me also to a circle of encouragers. Please show me people I need to love closely and those I need to love from a distance. So again, very powerful. God brought us everyone who jumped on board today, who shared wisdom with us. Be choosy. Be choosy. Pay attention to your circle of influence. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Steve, keep doing your blabs. I'm going to go check my settings to make sure I'm getting notifications for when you do the next one. And I think that, Roy, thanks so much for jumping in and educating us on that, because I want to reciprocate with people who've been wonderful supporting me on this. I'm here every morning at 6 a.m. on weekdays. So everyone, Have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you for being here. And God bless. And I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.